How much money does the average American actually make? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median weekly earnings for a full-time worker is just over $1,000. That works out to about $52,000 per year before taxes. Let me explain what median means because this is important. If you lined up every full-time worker in America, from lowest paid to highest paid, the person standing exactly in the middle makes $52,000. Half of all workers earn more, half earn less. This is different from the average, which can be pulled up by very high earners. The median gives us a better picture of what a typical person actually makes. $52,000 sounds like a reasonable amount of money. But here is what most people forget. That is before taxes. After federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security, and Medicare are taken out, that $52,000 becomes roughly $35,000 to $42,000. It depends on where you live. Let me tell you about a man named Robert. Robert is 38 years old. He works at a manufacturing company. He earns exactly the median income, $52,000 per year. Robert thought he was doing okay. Then, he sat down and calculated his take-home pay. After all taxes and deductions, Robert brings home about $3,100 per month. That is what he actually has to work with for housing, food, transportation, insurance, and everything else. Suddenly, $52,000 does not feel like as much money. Morgan Housel wrote a book called The Psychology of Money. In this book, he explains something important. How much you earn matters less than how much you keep. Robert earns the same as millions of other Americans. The question is, what he does with those $3,100 each month. That brings us to the next set of numbers. Maple Grove looks perfect. Nice houses, green lawns, new cars in every driveway. Families walking their dogs on Saturday mornings. A woman named Jennifer moved to Maple Grove 3 years ago. She was 34 years old. She had a decent job. She earned about $50,000 per year. Jennifer looked at her neighbors and felt like a failure. Her neighbor to the left, a man named Bradley, drove a brand new BMW. Her neighbor to the right, a couple named Stephen and Michelle, just finished building a swimming pool. Across the street, a family went to Hawaii for vacation every summer. Jennifer drove a 10-year-old Honda. She had never built a swimming pool. Her last vacation was a weekend trip to visit her sister. Jennifer thought something was wrong with her. Everyone else has their money figured out, she told herself. I must be doing something wrong. Then something interesting happened. Bradley, the BMW neighbor, lost his job. Within 3 months, his house was for sale. He could not make the payments. Stephen and Michelle, the pool builders, filed for bankruptcy. They owed more money than Jennifer could even imagine. The Hawaii family, they were drowning in credit card debt. They used points and borrowed money for every trip. Jennifer realized something that changed her life. She was not behind. She was actually ahead. She just did not know it, because she had no idea what average really looked like. My name is Rachel, and today I am going to show you the real financial picture of the average American. These numbers come from the Federal Reserve, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the most recent research available. Some of these numbers will make you feel better. Some will shock you, and some might be the wake-up call you need. If you want to understand where you really stand with money, subscribe and hit the like button. Let us dive in. If income is the starting point, retirement savings shows us where people actually end up, and the numbers are alarming. According to the Federal Reserve's survey of consumer finances, the median retirement savings for American households is about $65,000. That number includes everyone with a retirement account. What about people who have nothing saved? About 25% of Americans have zero retirement savings. Nothing. Not $1. 1 out of every 4 people you meet has no plan for retirement, except hoping Social Security still exists when they stop working. Let me introduce you to 2 women. Their names are Angela and Brittany. Angela is 55 years old. She has worked her entire adult life. She always meant to save for retirement, but something always came up. Kids, medical bills, car repairs, life. Angela has $11,000 in her retirement account. That is all. After 30 years of working. Brittany is also 55. She also worked her entire adult life. But Brittany did something different. When Brittany was 25, she read a book called The Automatic Millionaire by David Batch. This book taught her one simple idea: pay yourself first, automatically. Brittany set up automatic transfers to her retirement account. Every paycheck, money went straight to investments before she could spend it. She started small, just $50 per paycheck. Over time, she increased it. Today, Brittany has $420,000 saved for retirement. Same age, similar income throughout their careers. Completely different outcomes. The difference was not luck. It was not a high salary. It was a system. Now, let us look at the retirement savings by age, because this is where it gets really interesting. According to the Federal Reserve data, people under 25 have a median retirement savings of less than $2,000. People aged 25 to 34 have about $14,000. People aged 35 to 44 have about $37,000. People aged 45 to 54 have about $65,000. People aged 55 to 64 have about $134,000. Look at that last number carefully. People who are already retired have a median of $88,000. Let us do some simple math. Financial experts suggest the 4% rule for retirement withdrawals. This means you can safely withdraw about 4% of your retirement savings each year without running out of money. 4% of $88,000 is $3,520 per year. That is about $293 per month. Could you live on $293 per month from your retirement account? Even with Social Security added in, most people would struggle. This is what Thomas Stanley found when he studied wealthy Americans for his book, The Millionaire Next Door. Most Americans focus on looking wealthy instead of actually becoming wealthy. They spend money on things that impress others instead of saving money that would secure their future. Angela spent money on things throughout her career. Brittany invested money in herself. Both made choices. Only one choice led to financial security. Since so many Americans are counting on Social Security for retirement, let us look at what it actually provides. According to the Social Security Administration, the average monthly benefit is about $1,550. That is $18,600 per year. Now, that is the average. Many people receive less. Some receive more, depending on their work history and when they start claiming benefits. Let me tell you about a man named William. William is 67 years old. He just retired. He worked as a supervisor at a warehouse for 40 years. He never earned a huge salary, but he worked consistently. William's Social Security benefit is $1,620 per month. A bit above average because he worked steadily for 40 years. William owns his home. No mortgage. He paid it off 10 years ago. His monthly expenses look like this: property taxes and insurance, $400. Utilities, $200. Food, $400. Health insurance and medical costs, $350. Car insurance and gas, $200. Phone and internet, $100. Household supplies and maintenance, $150. Total basic expenses, $1,800 per month. William's Social Security covers $1,620. He is short $180 every month, just for basic survival. No vacations, no eating out, no entertainment, no gifts for grandchildren. And William is one of the lucky ones. He owns his home free and clear. Most retirees still have housing payments. What happens when the furnace breaks? When the car needs repairs? When medical bills arrive? William has to dip into his savings. His $63,000 retirement account needs to cover every surprise and every extra expense for the rest of his life. The Social Security Administration says someone who reaches age 65 today will live an average of 20 more years. 20 years of expenses. $63,000 in savings. That is $3,150 per year for extras and emergencies. Not much margin for error. This is why J.L. Collins wrote The Simple Path to Wealth. He wanted people to understand that Social Security was never meant to be your entire retirement plan. It was designed to be a safety net, a supplement, not your only source of income. If you are counting on Social Security alone, you are counting on a very thin rope. Now, let us look at spending, because earning money means nothing if you spend it all. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American household spends about $5,577 per month. That is $66,924 per year. Wait, did you catch that? The median individual income is $52,000. But the average household spending is almost $67,000. How does that math work? Two ways. Either households have multiple earners, or people are spending money they do not have. Often, it is both. Let me break down where this money goes. Housing, $1,885 per month. This includes rent or mortgage, property taxes, insurance, utilities, and maintenance. That is over $22,000 per year, just for shelter. If you live in a big city, you are probably laughing. In San Francisco, New York, or Boston, $1,800 might get you a small apartment, not a house. Transportation, $913 per month. This includes car payments, insurance, gas, maintenance, and public transportation. Almost $11,000 per year, just to get from home to work and back. Food, $691 per month. This covers groceries and restaurants combined. Over $8,000 per year to keep everyone fed. Healthcare, $431 per month. This includes insurance premiums, doctor visits, prescriptions, and medical supplies. Over $5,000 per year. And that is, if nobody gets seriously sick. Entertainment, $243 per month. This is Netflix, games, hobbies, and fun. Almost $3,000 per year on entertainment. Let me tell you about a couple named Chris and Amanda. Chris and Amanda earn a combined $100,000 per year. They felt rich when they got married and combined their incomes. But after taxes, they bring home about $72,000. Their spending looks like this: mortgage, taxes, and insurance, $2,200. 2 car payments and insurance, $1,100. Groceries and restaurants, $900. Childcare for their 2 kids, $1,600. Utilities, $250. Phone and internet, $180. Entertainment and subscriptions, $200. Clothes, household items, MISC, $300. Total monthly spending, $6,730. Their monthly income after taxes, $6,000. Chris and Amanda are spending $730 more than they earn every single month. Where does the extra money come from? Credit cards. Chris and Amanda are not stupid. They are not irresponsible. They are just average. And average in America means slowly sinking into debt. Ramit Sethi wrote about this in his book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. He calls it lifestyle creep. As income goes up, spending goes up faster. People never get ahead because they always spend more than they have. Chris and Amanda need to cut $730 per month just to break even. They need to cut even more if they want to save anything. But they do not realize it because everyone around them lives the same way. Now let us talk about credit scores. According to Experian, one of the 3 major credit bureaus, the average FICO credit score in America is 715. Credit scores range from 300 to 850. So 715 is in the good category. Not excellent, but good. This is actually encouraging news. It means the average person is doing some things right. They are generally paying bills on time. They are not maxing out all their credit cards. They are maintaining some financial discipline. But averages hide a lot of variation. About 16% of Americans have credit scores below 580. That is poor credit. That makes everything in life more expensive. When you have poor credit, your mortgage interest rate is higher. You pay thousands more over the life of the loan. Your car loan rate is higher. You pay hundreds more per year. Your insurance premiums are often higher. Some landlords will not rent to you. Some employers will not hire you. A low credit score is like a tax on everything you do. Let me tell you about a man named Derek. Derek is 29 years old. When he was 21, he got his first credit card. He did not understand how credit worked. He maxed out the card and missed several payments that damaged his credit score. It dropped to 540. For years, Derek ignored it. He figured it did not matter. Then Derek wanted to buy a car. The dealership ran his credit. They offered him a loan at 18% interest. A 5-year loan on a $25,000 car at 18% interest means Derek would pay over $37,000 total. Derek's friend Samuel bought the same car. Samuel had a credit score of 750. He got a loan at 5% interest. Samuel paid about $28,000 total. Derek would pay $9,000 more for the exact same car. $9,000. Because of a number, Derek finally took his credit seriously. He read about credit repair. He paid down balances. He set up automatic payments so he never missed a due date. 3 years later, Derek's score is 670 and climbing. The lesson is simple. Your credit score is not just a number. It is a price tag on your future. Every point higher saves you money. Every point lower costs you money. Now we arrive at one of the most painful statistics. According to the Federal Reserve, the average American household carries over $9,000 in credit card debt. $9,000 at credit card interest rates. The average credit card interest rate right now is over 20%. Let me show you what this really means. If you owe $9,000 at 20% interest and you make only the minimum payment, it will take you over 20 years to pay off the debt. You will pay over $13,000 in interest alone. Total cost, over $22,000 for that original $9,000. This is wealth destruction. Let me tell you about a woman named Heather. Heather is 33 years old. She earns a good salary, $60,000 per year. She considers herself financially responsible. But Heather has a problem. She has $12,000 in credit card debt. How did it happen? A little at a time. A dress for a wedding, $400. A new laptop when hers broke, $900. A weekend trip with friends, $700. Holiday gifts, $800. Car repairs, $1,100. Medical bills, $600. Each expense seemed reasonable at the time. Each purchase was something she needed or really wanted. But the balance kept growing, and the interest kept compounding. Now Heather pays $300 per month toward her credit card. Almost half of that goes to interest. Only half actually reduces what she owes, $300 per month for years. And the balance barely moves. Heather feels trapped, and she is. Dave Ramsey wrote about this in the Total Money Makeover. He says credit card debt is an emergency. It should be treated like a crisis. Stop all extra spending. Cut everything unnecessary. Attack the debt with everything you have. Ramsey calls it the debt snowball. Pay off the smallest debt first. Then use that payment to attack the next debt. Then the next. The payments grow like a snowball rolling downhill. Heather finally tried this approach. She cut her expenses dramatically. She sold things she did not need. She picked up extra work. 18 months later, Heather was debt-free. Those 18 months were hard, but the freedom on the other side was worth it. The average American stays in debt forever because they never treat it like the emergency it is. Now let us talk about net worth. This is the most complete picture of financial health. Net worth is simple math. Add up everything you own. Subtract everything you owe. The number left is your net worth. According to the Federal Reserve, the median net worth for American households is about $121,700. But like all these statistics, the age breakdown tells a more interesting story. Households under 35. Median net worth of $13,900. Households 35 to 44, $91,300. Households 45 to 54, $168,600. Households 55 to 64, $212,500. Households 65 to 74, $266,400. Households 75 and older, $254,100. Let me tell you about two men. Their names are Thomas and Vincent. Both are 42 years old. Both earn about $70,000 per year. Thomas has a net worth of $23,000. He has $40,000 in retirement accounts. He has $8,000 in savings. He has a car worth $12,000, but he also owes $15,000 on that car. He has $22,000 in credit card debt. Assets, $60,000. Debts, $37,000. Net worth, $23,000. Vincent has a net worth of $210,000. He has $170,000 in retirement accounts. He has $25,000 in savings. He owns his car outright. It is worth $8,000. He has no credit card debt, no car loan. Assets, $203,000. Debts, 0. Net worth, $203,000. Same age, same income, almost 10 times the difference in net worth. How did this happen? Vincent read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki when he was 25. He learned the difference between assets and liabilities. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. Vincent focused on building assets. Thomas focused on buying things. Over 17 years of working, their choices compounded in different directions. Thomas chose liabilities. His net worth barely moved. Vincent chose assets. His net worth multiplied. The math is not complicated. The discipline is hard. Here is a statistic that explains why most Americans struggle financially. According to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, Americans save about 6% of their income after taxes. 6%. If you earn $50,000 and save 6%, you are saving $3,000 per year, $250 per month. That sounds like something. But let us think about what that money needs to do. Emergency fund for unexpected expenses. down payment for a house someday. New car when the old one dies. Kids' education. Retirement. $250 per month cannot do all of that. And remember, 6% is the average. Many people save nothing at all. Let me tell you about a woman named Catherine. Catherine is 30 years old. She earns $48,000 per year. After taxes, she brings home about $3,300 per month. For years, Catherine saved nothing. She spent everything she earned. Then she read Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin. This book changed how Catherine thought about money. She realized money represented her life energy. Every dollar she earned cost her a piece of her limited time on earth. When she spent money carelessly, she was wasting her life. Catherine got serious. She tracked every expense. She cut things that did not bring real value to her life. She went from saving 0% to saving 22%. That is over $700 per month. Over $8,000 per year. In 5 years, Catherine will have over $40,000 in savings and investments. In 10 years, over $100,000. The average person, saving 6%, will have about $30,000 in 10 years. That is not a small difference. That is a completely different financial future. Most financial experts recommend saving at least 15% of your income for retirement alone, plus additional savings for other goals. If the average person saves 6%, and 15% is the minimum recommendation, most people are falling behind every single month. When do most Americans actually retire? According to research from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, the average retirement age is 61. That might sound reasonable. Work until 61, then enjoy retirement. But there are two problems with this picture. First problem, most people cannot collect full Social Security benefits. If you retire at 61, you have 6 years before full benefits start. You can claim early at 62, but your benefit is permanently reduced by about 30%. Second problem, people are living longer than ever. The Social Security Administration says someone who reaches 65 today will live an average of about 20 more years. If you retire at 61 and live until 85, that is 24 years of retirement. 24 years is a long time, longer than many people spent in their first career. Let me put this in perspective with a man named George. George retired at 62. He had worked at the same company for 35 years. He had $140,000 in retirement accounts. George felt good about this. It seemed like a lot of money. Using the 4% rule, George could withdraw $5,600 per year from his retirement accounts. His Social Security benefit, claimed early at 62, is $1,300 per month. That is $15,600 per year. Total retirement income, about $21,200 per year, less than $1,800 per month. George's basic expenses are about $2,000 per month. Every month, George falls $200 behind. George is 81 now. He retired 19 years ago. He has spent down almost all of his retirement savings. George is scared. He does not know how he will pay his bills if he lives another 5 or 10 years. He might have to move in with his children. He might need government assistance. George did everything society told him to do. Work hard, save something, retire at a normal age. It was not enough. The numbers did not work because George never actually ran the numbers. Now, let me give you some good news. All of these statistics describe the average person. But you do not have to be average. Beating these numbers is not about having a high income. It is about making different choices than most people make. Let me show you how to beat each statistic. Beat the retirement savings average. The median is $65,000. To beat this, you need a system. Set up automatic contributions to a retirement account. Start with whatever you can afford, even $50 per month. Increase the amount by 1% every year. If your company offers matching funds, contribute at least enough to get the full match. That is free money. Do this consistently for 20 years, and you will have far more than $65,000. Beat the spending average. The average household spends over $5,500 per month. Track your spending for 1 month. Every dollar. Use an app or write it down. You will find waste. Everyone does. Cut the waste. Focus on the big 3: housing, transportation, and food. These are where most money goes. Small improvements here make big differences. Beat the credit card debt average. The average is over $9,000. If you have credit card debt, treat it like an emergency. Cut extra spending and attack the debt. If you do not have credit card debt, never carry a balance. Pay your card in full every month. Use it for convenience and rewards, not for borrowing. Beat the savings rate average. The average is 6%. Start with 10%. Move to 15% as soon as possible. 20% is better. Pay yourself first. Set up automatic transfers to savings on payday. The money leaves before you can spend it. Beat the net worth average. Focus on the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Every dollar in that gap can become an asset. Invest it, let it grow. Avoid liabilities that take money out of your pocket. Cars, boats, expensive things that lose value. Build assets that grow over time. Index funds, retirement accounts, maybe real estate, if you understand it. Let me return to Jennifer from the beginning of our story. Jennifer thought she was behind because her neighbors looked rich, but her neighbors were not rich. They were in debt. This is one of the most important lessons about money. You cannot judge someone's financial health by what they drive, where they live, or where they vacation. The person with the new BMW might have negative net worth. The person with the old Honda might be a millionaire. In The Millionaire Next Door, Thomas Stanley studied thousands of millionaires. He found that most of them do not live in fancy neighborhoods. They do not drive luxury cars. They do not wear expensive clothes. They look ordinary. That is why he called them the millionaire next door. They are invisible because they do not show off. The people who show off their money often do not have any. Jennifer finally understood this. She stopped comparing herself to others. She focused on her own numbers, her own net worth, her own savings rate, her own retirement accounts. She realized she was actually ahead of most people her age. That knowledge gave her confidence to keep going, to save more, to invest more, to build wealth quietly. Jennifer is 41 now. Her net worth is over $300,000. Her old neighbors, the ones who looked so successful. Bradley lost everything in bankruptcy. Stephen and Michelle are still digging out of debt. The Hawaii family, still making minimum payments on credit cards. Jennifer won by playing a different game. She won by ignoring what everyone else was doing and focusing on what actually works. Let me end with a simple truth. These statistics show us where the average person ends up, but they do not have to be your destiny. Every number I shared today is just a result of choices. Millions of small choices made over years and decades. The average person makes average choices and gets average results. If you make different choices, you will get different results. You do not need a huge income. You do not need special knowledge. You do not need luck. You need 3 things. 1. Awareness. Know the numbers. Track your spending. Understand where you stand. 2. Discipline. Spend less than you earn. Save the difference. Invest for the future. 3. Patience. Wealth builds slowly. Compound interest works over decades, not days. If the average American has $88,000 at retirement and you want more, you can have more. You just have to do something different from what average people do. If the average American carries $9,000 in credit card debt and you want freedom, you can have freedom. Stop buying things you cannot afford. If the average American saves 6% and you want security, you can have security. Save 15%. Save 20%. The bar for financial success in America is not high. The average person is struggling. All you have to do is be a little better than average. A little more disciplined. A little more patient. Do that consistently for 20 or 30 years, and you will be in a completely different place than everyone around you. The statistics are not your fate. They are just the starting point. Where you end up is your choice. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you see the real financial picture, please share it with someone who needs this information. Subscribe for more videos about money, wealth, and making smarter choices.